I'm up early. As Khalil would like to say, I'm butt hurt. So I'm up early this morning dealing with tour, star terrain, and Khalil of money. First, social media personalities responsible for Ani Bambata. As I see, he done got afraid. See, he want to be very critical, which he does. He like to be critical of me because he know I'm a YouTube personality that's not a high school graduate, reader, writer, speller, none of those things. And because I'm none of those things, he like to get a little bit in the dirt with me because he think he can go places that I can never go due to the fact that I'm a high school dropout and everything. As if I don't know these things or haven't lived these things. So he's turning, 64 today. I turned 47 on the 18th. As if my 47 years of living, I didn't know I didn't graduate, that I dropped out of high school. So he liked to call me a fifth grade dropout. I actually dropped out in the 12th grade. So once again, I just want to deal with little tidbits because his conversation is fictional. As Donald Trump called this stuff false news. That's what this is all about, false news. So I'm gonna address a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna deal with a good portion of my day and live my life.
That nigga from a little old hamlet, from a little old town called Parkin, Arkansas, thought he was Captain Kirk. I said, Israel Doctrine, he thought he was running the Starship Enterprise. He thought he was Captain Kirk. He thought...
See, now, this is how he thinks of me. Because, once again, I'm a high school dropout, admitted high school dropout, admitted incapable of reading, spelling, all these things, right? So, when he was dealing with me, though, he didn't know who or what I was. He didn't know.
I was Lieutenant Uhuru or somebody else. He thought he was the HNIC, the head nigga in charge of the African Bambaataa narrative.
So now he said I was the head nigga in charge of the Africa Bambaataa narrative. In all actuality, he made me the head nigga in charge. He said that Israel Doctrine has done this and has done that to the Africa Bambaataa narrative and put everything in its proper place because it was all out of place. Nobody knew if Ron came out first or if Hassan came out first. You can tell that by the 125th interviews and things. Hassan had to check Captain Tazari like, look, BITCH, I came out first. And Ron like, no, I came out first. Who corrected that? Me. Because I was the gatekeeper, he stated. Not I stated that, because I don't give myself no big this and big that. I know I'm a failed person in a lot of areas. See, I never fooled myself, but let's listen on.
And that nigga was trying to direct me.
See, he was trying to direct me.
And so I already knew that I was about to jump ship from this fuck nigga and yes, go over and work with Troy Star Terrain.
See, now, that's where things got crazy at because he started feeling some kind of way about me, finna jump ship and go work with people that was against everything that I stood for. He knew exactly what I stood for. He knew exactly my fight. He knew how personal the stuff was with me. He talking about, well, he started talking about my mother. Well, shit, nigga started talking about my mother. He know her son spoke of my mother, my deceased mother, like I speak on his deceased mother. He knew this. Shit was already personal with me. That's why Tommy Sotomayor said all this happened because he spoke on your mother. The nigga knew the shit was already personal with me. Anybody that don't think I take shit like that personal is stupid. It's ignorant. No problem, though. Let's listen on.
Troy started to reign. He wasn't trying to be my boss. He wasn't trying to be my superior. As a matter of fact,
see, Israel Doctrine was trying to be my boss, trying to be my superior. Because I am who I am. I'm not trying to be nobody nothing. I was doing what I was doing. I brought him along to help out what I was doing. And when he came along, he was tearing Troy, started tearing his ass up. Said, look, Troy, are you mad or big mad? Troy was like, let her son have a shootout with you and Israel Doctrine, and whoever win the shootout get to speak. He know this. I gave it to a rapper sister from New York City because he was talking about what's the brother that got choked down by the cops and stuff. And she was friends with the family or something like that. All of this stuff. He know the shit how personal the shit was, but he jumped ship from me and went there with them and got personal towards me. And I'm like, leave me alone, man. Quit fucking with me. Because if you keep fucking with me, I'm going to get more personal. And that's when we went in on this mama.
he wanted me to take the lead and deal with the Zulu Nation.
So you see this? Troy started to rain, gave him numbers and stuff, and told him, you go talk to the Zulu Nation. You go deal with the Zulu Nation. Why? Because they was like, fuck Troy started to rain. Because they're trying to cover up things right now. He done went over there to the side that's trying to cover up stuff. See, for 11 years, he would never speak on this stuff. He would never even talk about what happened. But now he feel like he 64 and he got big King Kong nuts and that he can deal with it. Don't worry. I'm just dealing with it now. But wait till I get home. And once I get home and get to my receipts, then I'm going to shut this nigga up.
That's a whole fact. Troy started to reign would give me names and numbers, phone numbers, and key players and say, talk to this person, call that person, reach out to that person. This person could be a help to the story. He put that shit in my lap.
Now you see the position he played in the whole thing. He playing these positions now when all this stuff was supposed to be dealt with before he went to Troy. And when he went to Troy, Troy gave him something and said, start dirtying up the narrative too. That's why he want to address what he said to Troy when Troy did that show on a Sunday and said, should I get a boy name out or not? Because he been knew the boy name lately. All these people been knowing the boy name. But they won't talk about the stuff because I'm asking. But when Troy Start to Rain did that show on a Sunday, he called in, Kevin Gills called in, and Unseen Soldier called in. He may not have it. I have it. I played it just a couple weeks ago when I did my show. But once again, nobody want to pay $1 for my information, but everybody else send her son Camel all the money on YouTube to say what he want to say about Jay Prince and all these people that didn't send Benny over and F him. Like I said, he been knowing how personal this is because the nigga went in on my mother, and I don't play that. So it's been personal, but keep listening.
He said, I need you to take the ball and run. And I was honored to take the ball from Troy Star Terrain and run. Conversely, this fuck nigga Israel Doctrine town in Arkansas. He thought.
Once again, where am I at now? I'm in Chicago where I was born. But he liked to point the little small town of Park in Arkansas out. Why? Because he always trying to make what I do and who I am little. No problem. I'm the biggest nigga you will ever see.
He was the big nigga. He knew, he found me. He knew that I was the guy who first wrote about the Bambaataa story. Yet he was not respectful enough to stand down. This fuck nigga was trying to direct.
I was supposed to stand down to him. See, he like, well, he should give me my props and I should be the H and I C. That's the problem. Because I was who I am and I don't kiss nobody tail and I don't bow down to nobody. I don't give a fuck if I graduated, can read, write, or do whatever. I'm a motherfucking man, been a man since 10 years old. I'm not gonna
my words, telling me what I should have written, what I shouldn't write, whose name I should.
He put Michael Edwards in it because I told him, don't put Michael Edwards in him. Next thing you know, he started talking about how he was on Michael Edwards' manhood, giving them head and stuff. Did he not do that? Did he not get thrown off YouTube by adding Michael Edwards to the thing because him and Michael was the best of friends back then? Same way Michael Edwards was friends with her son Campbell. I called into her son Campbell's show trying to talk to him. He wouldn't talk to me. He started talking to Michael Edwards. This shit is so yesterday.
Called out. It got to the point he was asking me, are you going to call the FBI because her son Campbell is threatening you and threatening me and threatening Sonetta?
See there? Her son Campbell threatened all these people talking about taking their lives. The shit been personal. Because the nigga was talking about killing people and stuff. He's still not going to call the feds. How you not going to call the feds? And he said he ain't going to do this or he ain't going to do that until somebody threaten his life. Her son Campbell sitting up here threatening your life, bitch ass nigga. Why the fuck you don't talk to somebody? But because I'm a high school dropout, I don't make no sense. Don't you know that your ancestors couldn't read and shit, but so many niggas built stop signs and stuff for America, though they couldn't read the books of America, English and shit?
That nigga was bitchified, scared out of his boots, and begging me to make a call to the FBI because I had formerly worked with and for the FBI as a confidential informant.
See there? He had to end to the FBI. Why do I need to go to an office or say anything to a motherfucking federal agent when you best friends with him? So I'm asking you, call him and tell him what's going on. He probably did it. They probably watching all this shit now. Cause when I called the FBI and was talking to him about his son, the nigga wanted to argue and fight with me and use the same words these bitch ass niggas use. Then I say, he took a picture of the murder boy. Is that a crime? You know what he said? Yes, it's a crime. And we do investigate them crimes. But all these niggas was quiet forever because they knew the shit was a crime. And that the FBI would investigate it, but they wouldn't talk for 11 years. Now the nigga, like I say, he got King Kong nuts and he want to talk. He gonna hide this shit and try to act like he ain't say this shit. That's why I'm doing this.
That nigga would call me on the regular. Did you call the FBI? Are you gonna call the FBI today? When you gonna call the FBI? You should call the FBI. I knew I had to get away from this fuck nigga. And so the straw.
Because he didn't want to save Sonetta life. He didn't want to save his life, my life, or whoever the fuck her son was threatened. Because he could have made do on his threats, or he could have been a bitch ass nigga not doing it. Kevin Gillespie's wife called him and said, this nigga say he want to fuck my son and my daughter. Because Kevin Gillespie is a bitch though, or his wife a bitch, right? Because that's where it go. People that care to speak, speak. People that don't care to speak, don't speak. They didn't care to speak because they was in a YouTube culture, hip hop and this and that. And Africa Bambaataa is the Amun Ra of their culture and everything. And they didn't want to harm Bam.
The straw, the straw that would break the camel's back.
Let's listen.
The straw that would break the camel's back and sever my ties with this fuck nigga from Parkin, Arkansas, named Israel Doctrine, was when he went on another YouTuber show named Kev Gills.
Now, let's talk about it. Once again, digital pit boss bought Kev Gills into these YouTube streets. When I got Young Pharaoh, who went and got Young Pharaoh? Kev Gills did it. Anything I do, that nigga was always trying to do. He's probably still over there somewhere in his world doing what I do. He called and told Kev Gills, I get whack 100 to come see you. The same BITC stuff that Pitball said. Kev Gill, you on the West Coast, I get whack 100 to come see you. Everybody want to use whack 100 like he's a badass nigga. That nigga ain't bad. That nigga just a blood ass nigga that gave his allegiance to bitch ass shit. But let's listen.
And when Israel Doctrine went on Kev Gill's show, Kev Gills began to say,
which Kev Gills, like I just said, he always trying to take my stuff. So he took my narrative. It's my narrative. You think Kel's smart enough to come up with the shit like he told him? He told him, you're taking Israel Doctrine narrative. I send whack 100 to whack your motherfucking ass. Get you out of here. Because it's my shit that people trying to take. But he was with me at the time, so he had to try to be buddy and defend me. Right? So I said Layla Wills interviewed TC Islam, and 2 or 3 weeks later, the nigga was dead. Why? Because